Hi, I'm Art Caplan. I'm at the Division of Medical Ethics at NYU's Grossman School of Medicine. It's a very interesting story in the medical press. A few years ago, a plastic surgeon named Ed Cabbabe, I think I got that name right, he was preparing to do a follow-up cosmetic procedure on his wife at Mercy Hospital South, which is a big hospital in the St. Louis, Missouri area. He put her on the operating schedule, and he had done that when he had done the original operation. He had performed it on her. But on the day of the surgery, he got a call from the hospital saying the procedure was canceled. And they said from the hospital, their policy, maybe a new one, would not allow doctors to operate on family members. Now, this physician was a past president of the Missouri State Medical Association. I think he was also on the board or president of the American Medical Association Foundation. So a physician not only in a skilled area where he felt confident he could take care of his wife, but someone who was prominent in medical politics and medical policy. Now, the AMA forever has had a policy that says don't treat relatives. And this physician basically said, I think that policy is too restrictive, too cautious, and doesn't make much sense to continue to say you can't treat family and friends. And by implication, he was saying, I know exactly what I'm doing in my field, and I know exactly what I'm doing with her procedure. I should have a right to perform it. I think I do a great job, and I'd be best for her. And if you look at medical boards, every once in a while in some state, someone is brought up on a charge of doing a lot of different things with family members and saying that they're going to get censured. They don't usually lose their license, but they get a reprimand or get told that is just not ethical to do. Well, I think in the long run, the policy about don't treat your family and friends makes a lot of sense. The problem is, as is well known from the social sciences and psychology, people get biased when they deal with those they care about, they love, they hold close to them. It's hard for the doctor to be objective when they're really dealing with people that they really like, that they really love. It's also difficult for patients because they may not want to bring up something they're uncomfortable talking about with a doctor that's a family member or a close friend. They may not want to complain. They may be a little bit embarrassed about things. It just adds an emotional edge, I think, that's difficult. All that said, do I know doctors who regularly prescribe, say, an ointment for something that's itchy or some kind of a pill when allergy season breaks out? I do. Do I think they're acting in a horribly unethical manner? I don't. You need some judgment here. There are absolutely minor things where objectivity, fear, anxiety, they're not in play. And you're going to be able to prescribe the routine thing for the routine itch without worrying too much about whether it's a stranger, a friend, or your daughter. What sorts of things am I really talking about when I say minor variability ought to be allowed? Well, it's one thing when someone has, poison ivy and they're going to need some kind of standard medicine to treat it. Very different area, a lot more dangerous, and one I would avoid is in the mental health and, for that matter, the pain field. It's tempting to say, oh, my relative is just having a bad time. I'll give her a little bit of antidepressive medicine, or they seem to be having pain after an operation or something, and I'm going to give them a little bit of pain meds just to get them through. Those areas are flying red flags. Easy to abuse, easy for someone to become a user and manipulate a friend or a doctor that's a relative into getting things that really another doctor wouldn't be giving. So I think that's the space where you've got to exercise extreme caution. Time and again, when those people get called up in front of the boards for treating relatives, it's in those spaces: mental health, anxiety, pain control. So, again, when you know that there's a likelihood of abuse, I think that's the place where the line has to hold. Don't treat the relative, don't treat the friend. So, at the end of the day, I wouldn't change the AMA policy. I think we should keep it in place, morally try to discourage doctors from caring for those they're close to, they have emotional ties to. At the same time, as with all ethical situations, there has to be a little bit of wiggle room for those super minor cases where it just makes sense to say, you don't have to go find somebody else to do this. I can prescribe this ointment. I can prescribe this minor thing for you, and no one's objectivity is going to be soured, and you're not going to feel in any way at risk because I'm going to prescribe this for you. So common sense ought to prevail. The default position is don't do it. However, maybe with a tiny bit of space for what's minor, what's routine, what really does just save people convenience, there I might just give a little. I'm Art Caplan. I'm the Director of Medical Ethics at NYU's Grossman School of Medicine, and thank you for watching.